Dead Island 2. The review, breakdown, analysis, and what a journey of a game. Let me just actually confirm the amount of hours. That's one thing I've not gathered, is how long it actually took us to clock biddies the game. So boom, game card, official club, progress and stats. 24, 34, 34, 35, 36. 41 hours? Ooh, 41 hours. Jesus Christ. Biddies. So, yeah, ignore the alerts. Ignore the alerts. 41 hours to do a full playthrough. That's insane. But is Dead Island 2, I may say Dying Light by mistake, because I have played both games a lot. First one, second one, a lot. So if I mistakenly say the wrong one, I apologize. But Dead Island 2, is it worth grabbing? Is it worth going out and buying it? Was it worth the wait? Because this game was, what, 9-10 years in development. It got cancelled, it got re-enabled, then cancelled, then it got given to a different studios. So is it worth the money? It's as simple as that. The review template, we're going to break down the exact same way, just like we did with all the other games, because I think it's important to be uniformity. I like it, you know, so we always break down. I have got a lot of notes to go through. Those are going to get added on to the review notes at the end, just in case I miss anything. So the very first thing that we look into is, for me anyway, is choice of music used. Soundtracks are super important to me. I always talk about it. And is it, you know, is the soundtrack to this game phenomenal? And it's a yes and no balance, because the songs and the audio that they did have in place that I did listen to, I absolutely loved it. But there were a lot of times throughout the game where I was playing co-op with Pandamanda all the way through this, from start to finish. I did it co-op with her, where I would have music and she couldn't hear it. She would have music and I couldn't hear it. And even at the end game credits, the end game credits were scrolling up. I had no music whatsoever, but she said she was jamming to the music, and so I missed out on quite a bit of the audio. So that does come under audio issues within the game itself, and I'm actually quite pissed about that, to be fair, because I really, really, really like music in games, and soundtracks can add a massive dynamic range to games. They could empower them in a way and make them kind of a better game just because of the music. And it just sucks that I missed out on some of the audio, and it does suck that she also missed out on some of the audio. So there needs to be some patches rolled down to kind of fix that, because that should never, ever, ever be a thing. Shit. It's impacting the review score. I'm sorry to say it. I'm definitely sorry to say it, but it is impact. Yes, it is. I'm sorry. Audio effects and voice acting. The voice acting itself, I had no fault with it. The voice acting was absolutely perfect. I couldn't fault it in any way, shape, or form. I was happy with anything that was audio based around the voicing, the voice actors, and I can't fault it. The audio effects in terms of the gun noises, the explosions, the monster noises themselves. What else? The explosions were freaking crisp and loud. You could even hear them through flooring as well, especially when your friend was downstairs blowing shit up. The one thing I really didn't like is, in a lot of tight spaces, like when you're crawling through the vents and when you're going through certain rooms, they added a terrible echoey effect to give off that you're in a tight space, and it really didn't sound good. In my honest opinion, I didn't like it. In my honest opinion, it didn't sound right, and it kind of put me off just a wee bit. So there's just a lot of things around that sort of thing, and then obviously the soundtrack bugging out as well with certain music, that again is going to impact the review. It's just the way it is. Graphics, texturing, and weather effects. Graphically, this is a very beautiful game, and I do have to give them massive props around the zombie deaths. The way that you can slice, dice, blow up, execute, maim, rip apart the zombies, it's phenomenally fun. The detailing in the zombies being torn apart is probably the best I have ever seen on any zombie game. I have to give them a credit where credit's due. Whether you run around with explosives, whether you're running around with swords and you're hacking them away, and you can see the ribs, you can see the organs, their veins, you can see all of their innards wobbling around and jiggling around as you're kicking the shit out of them. It's hands down the best I've ever seen, and it destroys the original game in that way. And even with Dying Light and Dying Light 2, the gore factor in those games was quite good, but this was very good. So in terms of the graphics overall as the game, did we notice any missing textures? No. Did we see any out of place textures? No. Nighttime and daytime looked very good. Then the lighting looked really good. The shadow effects looked really good. The design of the enemies and the design of the characters, they again completely spot on. We didn't have any bugs, and usually with certain games like this, you'd expect certain NPC bugs or stuff like that. Didn't notice anything. Didn't see anything. The game from start to finish, within the 41 hours, it looked good from start to finish. The fire effects, the toxin effects, the light. I'm telling you now, the lightning effects from the lightning weapons and the lightning throwables and the batteries is probably my favorite effect in the entire game, because it looked very futuristic and I absolutely loved it. So yeah, in terms of graphic texturing, it's gorgeous. The game is absolutely gorgeous. I can't really talk about weather effects because throughout the game we didn't really have any thunder, lightning, rain, snow, or autumn effects. We didn't have any of that, so I can't really talk about any of that side. In terms of the character model designs, as I already talked about, I can't fault them. I had no issue with them. All the characters looked all special. They all looked unique. And they look great. They really did. Glitches and bugs. We had weapons fading through the floor. We had enemies vibrating like super fast into the flooring and into certain walls, or stuck in the door, or random chairs rocking and vibrating on their own. And I'd say about the physics around some of the zombies and some of the items, it was funny to watch. it wasn't bad. It was funny. And we got stuck quite a few times, to the point where I could move my camera view around, but my character physically got stuck in certain things. We found a fix to it, and that was to get your friend to blow you up and then revive you. But if you watch back through our recording of our streams, you'll see a lot of fun, definitely fun physics within the game itself. I think that's always something that's hilarious in the co-op Dying Light and Dead Island games itself. It's just the teammate physics are always fun to see. Gameplay and mechanics, it's exactly what you would expect in a Dead Island game. It uses a shitload of original mechanics that were in the very first game. When it comes down to weapon customization, when it comes down to mods, you can do pretty much the same in the first game. You can add bleed effects, you can add toxin effects, you can add electric effects, physical damage as well. You can buff that and cause more boom mechanics to happen. So if you're using a sledgehammer, you can pretty much launch zombies across the room by smacking them around the head. The weapons that drop from the game, again, very similar system that they utilized from the first game. You've got tier weapons, so the crappy weapons are like the whites, then it goes up to greens, then blues, then purples, then golds as the highest tier. Blueprints, again, you running around and you're finding a lot of the blueprints that are in safes. You can also do side quests and side missions as well that give you even more blueprints back. So doing 100% of the game like we did is pretty much ideal. We did all the story quests, we did all the side missions, and then we also did all of the challenge missions where we had to go find people and find out their fates. And all of those you're going to want to do because it will give you the best rewards that you can possibly get in terms of golden weapons. Some of them were a little bit disappointing, I'm not gonna lie. Throughout the game, my favorite weapon was the bow stick and the handgun and shotgun, and I was really hoping to find super mega high tier versions of them, and I kind of didn't, and it kind of sucks. But I found a shitload of other golds, and I'm not going to tell you what they are, so good luck finding them. They reintroduced the same zombies that are again in the first game, with the big tyrant guy that takes all the poundings. You've also got the screamers from the original, you got the spitters, the boomers, and all that shit. But in terms of their design, yes, they have been massively improved from the original, and some of them are very frightening looking as well. They really are. The butchers are frightening, and there is a new enemy. I'm not going to spoil it, and he's even more frightening looking, which is always fun. Game difficulty? I can't speak from a single player point of view, but I can speak on a co-op point of view with a teammate. I went down quite a lot. She wouldn't go down as much as me, though she was way more dangerous than I was. And that was because her character had a better toughness than I did. And her health was a lot bigger than mine as well. So she could actually take more pounding than I could. But my crit hits were pretty nasty as well. So as I was smashing them from behind, and again, I love she would kind of be the tank while I was being pretty much the aggressive crit DPSer from behind. Choosing the character that you want to roll with is definitely important, because a lot of it plays out on your toughness, and a lot of it plays out on your damage. So you kind of need to find your comfortable character, which one you want to play as. So make sure you take your time around that. Don't rush it, and do multiple playthroughs so you can experiment. They use like a card. I hate saying this because so many games utilize this shit, and I fucking hate it. But they use a talent card, like collecting baseball cards in a way, and each card that you find can boost your character in a certain way, some giving you positives, some giving you really good positives but come with negatives as well, and that allows you to customize your character with the deck of cards that you want for your build. And I'll be honest, I don't like it. I didn't like it at all. I preferred the original system that they used in the first game, where you've got individual trees that you can actually level down and go down whichever one that you want. And I thought that was a much better system. I am not gonna lie, I found it more enjoyable. Don't get me wrong, I love collecting things. I just didn't care about the cards. I lost a lot of interest about them because so many were exactly the same. They were just tweaked a little differently, and to me that's just it. I don't know, it kind of killed it. I'll be completely honest, but that's probably just a me thing. I prefer the original survivor trees that you work down in the original game, and I don't like the new card system. Any game customization and stats building, we've talked a lot about the customization that you can do on the weapons itself. In terms of your character, that you can't customize your own character. You pick out of one of five survivors. Six. You pick out of one of 6 survivors right at the very beginning of the game. In the original Dead Island 1, you could pick only 4. Sambi, Xian, Logan, and the gunner chick. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4. And in this one, you get to pick 6. So you get, again, even more options to choose right before Pruna. Thank you, Murphy. I appreciate you chiming in there. Thank you. She was my first character, to be fair. I liked her because she was a gunner. And I like running around with guns. I do. I'm not gonna lie. But in terms of customizing those characters, as in their clothing or hairstyles, there's none of that. Could they have put that in this game? Yeah, to be completely honest, it's 2023. They could have done character customizing as a new option for this game that the other one didn't have. They could have allowed you to be a little bit more expressive with your character. So when you're playing with friends, you all don't look the same. So pretty much a missed opportunity there, in my opinion, where they could have easily done a little bit more and give the player a bit more of a customizable choice. But that, again, just my opinion. Stats building, you level up just like you do in the original game. It's capped at 30 on this one. It wasn't capped at 30 on the other one. You could level up a hell of a lot more. And I actually agree with the first one again on this one. I found that we hit level 30 very quickly. We got to the pier area and that was it. We were maxed out on leveling up. We couldn't go any higher. And we did about 3 or 4 more streams after we maxed out. That's an extra 20 something hours in the game at level 30. The weapons, this is the biggest killer for me. The weapons in this game can actually be matched to your character level, and I disagree heavily with that system, because that sucks away all the fun and enjoyment of running around and finding stronger weapons. I don't understand why that system was implemented in this game, and in my opinion, it was a fucking mistake. Because in the original game, that was a fun aspect. Running around and being like, oh shit, I've just found a weapon that's 3 or 4 levels higher than what I'm using. I can switch out and customize it. In this game, no, you can just go to the bench and you can just upgrade and upgrade and upgrade and upgrade. I think that's stupid. I really, 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 really do. And it sucks away the fun in openly exploring for items because you don't need them. If a new blade drops that's on the floor, you can just sell it and then just put that money towards matching the level of the blade that you're using at the moment. And I just think that kills it. I really do. I think it kills it really badly. Story, if applicable, of course. Do I prefer it, this one, to the original? Oh, the original had a good story, I'm not gonna lie. The story is quite good. I'm not gonna say it's amazing because it didn't blow me away at the end, but it was a good story. Did it leave it open to Dead Island 3? Possibly, yes. Did it leave it open to DLC? Possibly, yes. Are we going to get either? I don't know. I don't know. I can't answer that question. Would I like to see DLC? If we get DLC, it would probably reduce the chances of getting a Dead Island 3. So, I don't know. I really, really, really don't know. We're probably going to get DLC, though, because we did get Dead Island Riptide for the first game, which was technically the DLC for the first game. A lot of people thought that was Dead Island 2, but that's not. It was just Riptide's DLC. So yeah, it was a good ending, but it wasn't an ending that's gonna blow me away anytime soon. It may be a completely different experience for you. You may get to the ending and be like, oh my god, man, and that's absolutely cool. That's wicked. And I'm glad that you got that experience, but it wasn't the case for me. It really wasn't. Online co-op features and stability. Yes, there is online co-op. Again, just like the original game, we had only a few disconnections from each other, but the connection time and how long it took to rejoin was super quick. Her game actually forced shut down more than mine did. Mine only closed itself once. Her game forced shut it down, I think 3 to 4 times. So that's pretty much where the game just freezes and it just instantly boots straight to dashboard or straight to the Xbox screen. And the game only really does that when a critical severe error has happened in the game data, and they say for protection of your console, it shuts the game down to protect the console. I don't know, but in total we're looking at 4 or 5 games for shutting itself down. It has a very good auto save system itself, so if it does force shutdown on you, you should be completely safe and just reload and you'll be very close to where you was, or maybe even in the same room. Anytime you do pretty much anything in the game, you'll see the little logo at the bottom where it's auto saving. So hopefully don't freak out, and hopefully it doesn't crash your game and kill your game. But yeah, that's the stability that we had. She was playing on Wi-Fi, where I was playing on a hardwire. Yes, I could see her stuttering every once in a while, but to be completely fair, it was a great experience to have Panda running around with me. I wanted to play this game and review this with friends, and you know, I didn't want to be left alone because I wanted to add to the review. And I was happy with the results. I'm not gonna lie, I was happy with the results, but we did have a few funny little moments where I was about to say, apparently I was running, moonwalking backwards everywhere I was going. So that will probably appear on TikTok at some point or Instagram Reels, so have fun watching that. Purchase price versus digital price and value of content. The physical copy of this game I could acquire for £48. The digital price is £60 for the game, and the digital deluxe, the next one up, is £65, so only an extra £5. I was actually super surprised that I could get the game physical for 48 quid. That's really impressive. And do I feel the value of content is there? 100%. Yes. Well, 100%, because I know I'm going to want to do another playthrough with a different character. I'm also going to want to play through the game with maybe Muzi, Willie as well, if he wants to run it at some point. I'd love to be a teammate and run around with him. So do I feel that the game yes, 100% value for content for sure. I can't knock it. Microtransactions or DLC, we don't know about DLC as of yet, but if I quickly go to the managed games and add-ons, there's a 20 gig enhanced texture file that you can download. The campaign's around 32. The total size is just over 55 gig for all of it all together. I got Dead Island 2 character pack for Jacob, and I got a character pack for Amy. I think more add-ons. Dead Island 2 expansion pass, gold weapons pack, pulp pack. Interesting. See in Microsoft Store, please. For God's sake. Bear with me. I'm trying to do this as quickly as I possibly can. See in Microsoft Store. Your Microsoft Store needs updating. You can do it another fucking day, please. I don't need to see this shit. No, I'm not. I saw the option for it, but I can't see anything price related. So you might have to just check back when they actually roll that down. So We've got a lot more to add to all of those categories. That's basically my main breakdown, but I want to add to it itself. If you weren't aware, obviously the game is published and developed by Deep Silver, where Techland do Dying Light. Phenomenal game. High detailed to dismemberment. We've already talked about that. There is no crossplay option in this game, and I'm going to be honest, I'm pretty fucking disappointed with that. If I wanted to play Dead Island 2 with someone who's playing on Windows or is someone who's playing on PlayStation, why can I not do it in this day and age? Why? It's just a massive missed opportunity, if you want my opinion. You get to enter an arcades area, and there are many houses that actually have pinball machines and arcade machines, but you don't ever get to play with any of them. There are fun Easter eggs around those slot machines, though. Not slot machines, arcade machines, because a lot of the Deep Silver games are plastered on the top panel. No item pinging system. That's a massive freaking kick in the teeth. You can't close doors behind you once you've opened them. That's another kick in the teeth. So if you get pushed by zombies, you won't be able to shut the door on their asses. Missed the old leveling system. I've already talked about that. There is a day and night cycle, but it's not controlled by the time in the game. It's controlled by when you load the area. So you can trigger day and night when you want to, which is pretty cool. Plenty of ground glitches where loot falls through the floor. Again, that was annoying, but luckily they have a locker system in the game that anything that does fall through the floor or anything that does get left behind will teleport automatically to your storage locker so you can retrieve the item later on. Still shouldn't fall through the floor though. It really shouldn't. That's not an excuse. You can't access the map area without warping to the section first. That's a big pain in the dick. I'm not gonna lie. That is a massive pain in the dick. We actually had to teleport to a certain region just so we could open up the map and see if we'd missed any of the side quests or if we'd missed any of the... because we went for all the lockers, we went for all the safes, we went for everything. And this game heavily abuses that. I'm talking, it gets to the point where it actually gets frustrating. At the beginning, it was all great. Oh, you come across a little locker box, you come across a little storage or a safe or whatever, and this requires a key. No problem. No problem whatsoever. We'll go look for the key. Then you find another one, and another one, and another one, and another one, another one, another one, another one, another one, another one, and it's fucking loads. The game is flooded with locked drawers, locked key cards. It's overly done, in my opinion, and it starts to get a wee bit frustrating. We did do every single one of them though, because we wanted to find as many gold weapons as we can, and we did notice that late game, a lot of the ones that we were opening were giving us blues and purples, and we just weren't happy with that as a reward, to be fair. But that's just me being me. You do find a lot of blueprints, as I said before though, inside those safes, so make sure that you do as many as you possibly can do. The zombie spawning is really bad in this game, and throughout the entire stream of all the days that we did this, we had zombies spawning in front of us, spawning behind us, disappearing in front of us, and I have no idea why that's even a thing. That is horrible mechanics, and I don't know if that's a fix that they need to do, but that was just shit. We were running in straight lines, and we would have zombies manifesting in front of us, pixel by pixel, and it was fucking awful to watch, and it got really annoying, to be completely honest. No expandable inventory. This is something that sucked quite heavily, because your player storage is really small, and the locker storage is also really small. So you can't hold on to a lot of items. You unfortunately have to break a lot of the items down or sell them. But there is a kicker to that, because a lot of the mission weapons that you're given as a reward, they cannot be broke down or sold. I guess maybe your only option is to drop them on the floor and just leave them. I'm a loot whore. I want every single shiny I can find. I like my shinies. And you're telling me I have to leave that shiny on the floor and no longer touch that shiny? No, you break my heart. The audio echo effects suck. I have to agree on that. It didn't work for me. No way to fast sell items. You have to, if anything that you want to sell in terms of your scrap items, you have to tap up on the analog for every single one that you have to sell. If you've got 99 of them, you have to tap up 99 times. You can't just sell all. Why is there no sell all? It blows me away. It really, really, really does. Pinging, we've already talked about. Bugged out music, we've already talked about. Not a lot of Easter eggs. To be completely fair, I really, really wanted a lot of Easter eggs in this game. I really did. And I was very disappointed that I just didn't get the level of Easter eggs that I wanted. But again, that's maybe just a me problem. And the forced closure, we ended with 41 out of 45 achievements. And that's pretty much everything that I've written down and everything that I've wanted to talk about. So I guess it just boils down to whether or not I would recommend buying this game and what would I score it out of 10. I've had a score floating around in my head for a while. I have. The last two streams, I think I've had this scoring, and today's stream has kind of put the nail in the coffin for me. Would I recommend people running out and buying Dead Island 2? Not right away. If you want my honest opinion, not right away. I think there is a lot more that they could do with the game in terms of just patching it and just fixing a lot of the problems that we encountered. But I wouldn't right away. If you're a massive zombie fan, if you're a massive fan of the original, then sure, I can understand why you would want to rush ahead and go get Dead Island 2. But if you want my honest opinion, Dead Island 1 did a lot of things better in terms of the open exploration for a start. This game does not have the massive open exploration areas like the first game had. The first game had the beach, the massive sea resort beach, and that area is huge. I mean, absolutely massive. You have to drive vehicles to get yourself from A to B because of how big that game is. This game does not have any of that. This game is very tunnel vision, very straight, narrow paths running from A to B. This game lacks the massive exploration that I would have expected to want to have from a sequel. And that will definitely impact the score, in my opinion. I'm sorry, but it does, because your sequels need to be better than the originals. You need to be looking at what was originally done and mold that content into a better version. That's the whole point. You want to encourage people to go out and buy the next game because you want to say to them, hello, we did better than that. No, you didn't. You took the open world exploration away from the player, and that is a massive kick in the teeth. It really, really, really is. The first game did it better. The talent tree was done better in the original game too. Again, my opinion. And the fact that there isn't a pinging system, the audio issues, the freaking out issues that we had as well, it's going to all massively impact the scoring of the game. So, and it sucks because I am a huge Dead Island 1 fan. Massive. I love that game. I played it with every character, completed it with every character, done the DLC, done all of that, and I absolutely fell in love with the series, or with that and Riptide, and also Dying Light as well, even though I think Dying Light 1's better than Dying Light 2. I would say hold off for just a little bit. If this game does land on sale, then bang, that's probably your entry point to go grab it. But when it comes down to the scoring, a lot of what I've talked about is impacting the review score. And I will take the fun factor into consideration. I will. I did have a lot of fun playing this game, but at the same time, I wanted a better and more improved version of Dead Island 1. And I don't think I got that. To be completely fair, I feel I got disappointed a lot more than excited. And with that in mind, I am very happy scoring this game a 7 out of 10 with a please wait until it goes on sale, then grab it. But do what you want. Do what you want. I'm confident. 7 out of 10. I enjoyed it. It could have been better by a long mile. It could have been better. Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down in the video. Please, I'm very active when you guys talk to me down there, and I would love to hear your thoughts. Who I played as Carla, who your character was, what sort of build you like running. Tell me what you thought of the review, if you think I was right or if I'm being too harsh. I'd love to know your thoughts down below. But I just want to say a massive thank you to my community. You guys made this review possible. Deep Silver, I fucking love your face. I really do. I love so many of your games, and you're an incredible company. Biddies. Thank you so much for the opportunity to review this, and I will see you awesome faces in the next review. Bye bye.